hello my friends, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hi my friends, how are you? We have an announcement to make. We have a gorgeous fundraiser going right now for Thorn. If you haven't watched the video regarding Thorn yet, they're fighting against child trafficking. On the 30th of July, there's the World Awareness Day for child trafficking, or against child trafficking. And yeah, please watch the video, links down below. If you wish to donate, send out your vibrations, or purchase one of their own stuff, all like 100% of, for example, merchandise goes to them directly. I've also created these here. All the information you'll find on the channel, I'll publish videos along with this, with the fundraiser today, so you can have a look at them. They're really, you know, I make them myself. I craft them myself. They are high quality pendants, bracelets. They're gold plated, they're silver, $925. They come at a price of $55 each. If you buy two, it's $65. 5% of the purchase goes to Thorn. And they come with a mini reading. That's the cool thing about them, because it's not just the bracelet that you purchase. They serve as an anchor and as a daily reminder, because the way this works, and if you've watched the videos, you'll know this already, I'll shuffle the cards with the bracelet, and then I will set the intention for you with that bracelet. So it's actually charged with the higher energies, and you'll receive a video link with the bracelet. And every time you wear this, then you'll be reminded of your intention. Like I wear mine every day. I have right now the gorgeous double bracelet on. I don't know if you can see it, with the gorgeous golden butterfly and the ornament here. It's quite beautiful. It's got a macrame lock. They're very, very delicate, and I love them. Like I don't even take them off. I just leave them on, and again, it grounds you, it's an anchor, it's a daily reminder. Plus you're doing good, you're helping a child. And I'll keep you updated on where your donations are going, of course, right? And where the portion of this is going towards. Okay, today we're going to do the reading. All links down below. We're going to do the reading of Healing the Mother Wound. And I already pulled the alchemical mutation along with action. They're so freaking cool. And there's so much change going on right now. You know, if they're still old, it'll break away, especially with, you know, I can still feel the Uranian energies from the Aquarius full moon that we just had. I can still feel them. Of course, they're getting a little bit faded out, but we now entered Leo season, so we got all that fire and that action, that momentum going. So I'm curious what Spirit has to say on Healing the Mother Wound. It's one of those where it just came through, and I was planning on doing that reading since a couple of days already, but I just didn't have the energies because of the fundraiser and everything. That was a lot to prepare. Now it's there. I'm very happy. Go ahead and get your pendant, your bracelet, and yeah, that's that. And check out Instagram, Universal Power Jewelry, okay? All links down below. Alchemical mutation. Your spiritual growth is changing your mind, body, and soul. It is very real. It is helping you fulfill all aspects of your divine destiny. It is awakening spiritual talents and attracting in new energies. This process will bring tremendous joy and satisfaction. This is incredible. Let me just see. Yeah, that's okay for that. It's what I'm getting with this card strongly is, you know, incorporation of more light in the body. The light quotient is going up. You may have different preferences for a short while as you go through this process. So this is one that cannot be undone. Much like with the, it's funny that I brought that one in today with the gold, you know, golden light and the golden butterfly. They only transform one time in their life, and it's a process that's, you know, that cannot be undone. And we humans can go through that process several times though in our life, but it's a strong one. I can feel here, one that will leave you, like, your life will not be the same as it was 5 years ago. And for others, you may already be at that point where you are called to take action, to really step into that new life of yours. And vibrancy. I'm getting a lot of vibrancy with this. And the action card reads, drop all fear and just do it. You have the power to create and be whatever you truly want. Look inside your heart and take positive actions in those things that bring you closer to achieving your desired goals. And you may be able to feel them because it starts to pull you at a certain stage. It starts to pull you in a certain direction. It's really interesting. It's like the universe is pushing all the way. The planets are pushing, and we just go along. Like, don't resist this change. But you will not want to. Once you've healed yourself enough and step into that certain place, you will actually want to have a look at that gorgeousness that is right in front of you, that is there for you. Nothing can stop you except your own fears. This card is positive confirmation from God and the angels that the time is right for you to start a new and exciting venture. Yeah. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Oops. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Immediately we have another strong symbol, so you may want to look into dream symbolisms. My friend Beth is doing dream interpretation over on Instagram at Your Dream Interpreter. You can check her out. I've also linked her website down below in the description box, which comes to mind if you need help interpreting your dreams. Otherwise, this is if you see snakes, if you see a rabbit on the field, if you see, animals crossing your path, whether in dreams or in real life, this is a sign for you to pay close attention because they have messages for you. They are your spirit guardians, is what I'm getting here for you. Of course, and we were talking about symbols, so the snake symbol is, of course, huge transformation, right? Snake sheds their skin. 5 of Wands. It's also conflict. It's that fight. It could be the internal fight of, the old is still, for some of you, still so comfortable. And I know that feeling. And it's almost like it feels like dangerous to step out of that territory, although it may be not nice territory, maybe a war zone, but you know that war zone so well. So it's like, kind of like, are we going towards the beach and towards, happily ever after? Of course, I'm exaggerating here, but that's kind of like what it is. And you're just almost not trusting the new because you're so, these were your surroundings for so long, okay? So it doesn't have to be so extreme in your case. I was just trying to make the point, although it can be in some cases. I was also getting PTSD and CPTSD, so being traumatized from that very war zone that you just came out of, okay? And it is really moving into something else here for sure. And the snake, it's an effort for them to wiggle themselves free of their old skin. But once they did, they rest for a little bit, and they are a bit tender because the new skin still has to grow back, it still has to harden and everything. Not really grow back, I don't think, but it has to harden because it's kind of pinkish or something. It's raw, and so they're kind of vulnerable for a couple of days, and that's when I believe they even might go hiding or something like that during that time, and then they come back out and they're like, they're amazing and they're strong and they're bigger and all those things. Yeah. Here we go. That's a transformation. The High Priestess, like full on. First of all, this is, manifestations, and of course alchemical processes are huge with this one because she is willingly going through those processes, and she's depicted as a moth here, so that is, she very well knows her shadow and her light. You don't just focus, in my opinion, you don't. I tried. Maybe your experience is different, and that's totally cool. Please only take what resonates. But you gotta know your shadow. Your shadow is what actually makes you powerful, what actually kind of anchors you on this earth, what actually grounds you. Becoming more and more okay with even the kinkiest parts of yourself, with even the shadowiest parts of yourself, where you would condemn anyone else if they did that, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, there's a part within myself that is just like that. I just suppressed it so much, and by, letting it out, it really connects you with yourself. It really, really, really brings back that feeling of I'm okay, perfectly fine like the way I am, with all my shadow, with all my, perceived flaws or perceived negative traits. They're not so negative anymore once you look at them. Like, there starts to become passion and more understanding. The more you go down that path, the more, you also go into high priestess mode. Yeah, totally. Total transformation. I love that. And of course, very powerful because you're stepping into the unknown more and more, and you're becoming comfortable in those realms. I love that. I can't quite tell what that has to do with the mother wound yet, but I'm sure they'll take us there. Ooh. 9 of Wands. There must have been some hurt of... Here we go. That's what. There it is. There's that wound. Because the 9 of Wands, that's a little bit of defensiveness, you know. Or also I'm getting the sense of having learned how to fight, how to protect yourself because you had to. You may have forgotten that for a while and been too vulnerable, or may still be in that state, but that's breaking away because you need to be able to protect that tenderness, that softness, you know what I mean, but yourself. So it's again that balance. That's why we need the shadow so badly, because if we're just nice and kind, and this is not to call to be shitty to other people at all whatsoever, but it's a call to really explore your shadow side, because that's what allows you to defend yourself. Like make friends with those disowned parts that were maybe shamed for defending yourself. Because there's a lot in there when we're not allowed or even punished for defending ourselves, which is horrible, but it really breaks down your boundaries quick as a child. And yeah, so this is coming back into that very thing, and you have a strong guide right by your side that is helping you here, protecting you also. This is a matter of you learned how to protect yourself. You know, they were always there, but now they're stepping to the forefront, those guides do, because you've learned how to do it yourself. So there's no longer that need for that kind of a lesson to, you know, when we're wounded, there's no longer that need. When we learned that lesson of how to defend ourselves, that Spirit would send more people our way, more situations our way that hurt us in that way. We've learned that lesson. We've come out of it. Speaking about the mother wound, you're done with that at that stage. You are done with that lesson. So that's why your spirit guides, your spirit animals are stepping in and doing that job for you now, because you no longer need to worry about that. You know what I mean? Even if we're talking about, for example, spiritual attacks or throat. People trying to restrict you, that's no longer going to fly. That's no longer going to fly. You're turning into this amazing sovereign being. And that's why, you know, this whole thing was here. And I'm going to make a post about this because I wrote that down. I found that so profound that because I had this conversation with Spirit the other day where we were talking about, you know, how no one is as powerful as someone who has been suppressed first and then come out of that suppression and stepping full force into their being. Like, I can feel that power. It's amazing. But if you've given such power without being through what you've been through, you would not know compassion. There's a strong sense of, you know, we're almost wired in a sense because of the shadow that we all have, to kind of, or maybe feel inclined to use that power in ways that may be detrimental to others, if that makes any sense. So that's also why you're going through that first, to then be given that full power, to be using it for, you know, for the highest good of everyone involved. That's the thing. And that's what the High Priestess does, full on. She's using her powers for the highest good of everyone involved, to make sure that, first of all, there's no more karma accumulated, is almost what I want to say. But also, you know, to make sure we're evolving in a direction that's beneficial for everyone, and not just for, you know, not just self-serving. Yep, that's precisely it. And here we go. That's the self-serving. The King of Pentacles in this deck is always, to me, like the self-serving kind of a side, you know, accumulating wealth with no regard to what anyone else feels about it, or if someone lands under the truck, it doesn't really matter because, you know, I'm wealthy, I'm rich, I made my thing. And that's that. It's also shedding that, and there may be part of that still in you, that's the thing, or has been in you. And I know this can be triggering to hear, but when you really go on that deep dive, you'll become okay with that. The moment you become okay with it, yes, there's actually part of myself that would like to use power in such a way. Once you're there at that point and that in touch with yourself, it then loses its power completely. And that's the funny thing about the shadow, you know, because it just wants to be acknowledged, and loved and accepted. And then you'd be like, okay, that's fine, it's good to know about myself. And it's no longer that big of a deal or that big of an issue. And you then see how you can resolve it. And because you resolved it, that automatically lets you know others can resolve it too. You may even be able to teach it to someone, you know, or to show it by the way that you live. But you also understand, and that's the thing. That's the huge thing of this message, I believe, to having been through it, feeling it through, and then to understand it better. That's you know, that lesson. Because if you're completely detached from something that you have no idea or feeling about, or maybe just read about, but really don't have an attachment to it, you cannot understand the very thing, because you haven't lived it in a way. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. More? No. Okay. Oh, my hands started to be really crampy, so some of you may be really tense from trying to hold things in place, because this is an interesting journey, to say the least, here. When you're turning, you know, that earthly expression and that angelic expression here, that is quite the stretch, or can be quite the stretch to feel, you know. But ultimately you want to bring these two together, so that you can have that connection, so that you can actually have an impact here on earth. But I also understand, or maybe I don't, you know, I always leave that room for error, because you know, the more I understand, the less I know. It's really the thing. So I always leave that room for error, always the possibility that I'm wrong with the things that I'm saying, or that I may think differently in a very short while even, you know, because of my own evolutionary process. Yeah. So leave that room for error, leave that room, you know, allow yours, because there's forgiveness in that as well. Like being okay with, you know, not being right, or because there are different paths, is what I mean to say here. There are very different paths, and some may be called to take action and be those warrior types that really go in, and they're those agents, right? And the same, it is not, nothing is better or worse than the other, or worth more than the other. And then there are those that work purely from the energetic standpoint, right? And that really identify with that angelic realm, or you know, the higher frequencies, and they have something to teach too, just with their path. Oh, that almost makes me like want to cry, because it's so beautiful the way they're just showing it to me, you know. And that's in the realms of finding acceptance for what is, and that is tough. If you know, if we're really talking about, like I said with Thorn, about perpetrators of child trafficking, how do you love those? How do you find unconditional love for those? You know what I mean? I, for myself, would say I'm nowhere near that. So like I said, it can be, if you're really going into this, it can be a tough journey. I know I've forgiven stuff in my own life, perpetrations of various sorts, but that just to me is a different ball game. And that's what I mean. It's not an easy journey to be on, and to figure your personal path out, because your personal path may not be the path of everyone else here. It may be very different, and hence it may also feel like a lonely journey at times, until you're coming into that point where the action card comes in, and all of a sudden Soul Tribe comes back in, because you're at that, you know, it's that evolution. Like attracts like. Once you're still going through that stage, you may still feel alone and be alone, because you're shedding. And in that, again, in that transition, Spirit is making sure, your guides are making sure, that no one is coming into your life, because you're shedding. You're still figuring yourself out, if that makes any sense. So that's the huge lesson of this reading, that some things are almost like meant to be, you know. You're meant to go through things, and you can manifest friends and soulmates as much as you want sometimes in certain stages, or manifest, you know, a lot of money or whatever it is for you, right? But if it's not the time for you, that, oh my God, that is divine timing. That is, I now just started to understand what divine timing actually means. It's not, you know, it has to do with us as well. Like when we're learning, how we're progressing through our lessons, and how things are not given to us for a certain reason, or you weren't able to enter this relationship for a certain reason. You will then, maybe years later, months later, understand why that was. you know, rejection is God's protection is only half of the deal, I feel, with this one, because it needs an addition, like in my mind, where, you know, you're going through that lesson and you're then given, when you're at a certain point and learned that lesson, then everything comes in. But it's almost like a contract that you have been on for some time that didn't allow you to bring things in, to bring people in, to bring events in, to bring abundance in, maybe even. Because you were meant to learn exactly, with the King of Pentacles, a different kind of abundance, a more pure form. Although again, I don't want to put like the label on it, but when you're supposed to learn a certain thing, or agreed to learn a certain thing in your life, you know, I have so many things going through my mind right now, because this is going bonkers and bananas. When you're really putting yourself like on the line like this, and you allow all those messages to come in and you're ready for them, it's mind-blowing. And then there's also like the human perspective. Okay, now you've got all that information, right? But now you have to integrate it into your life. So how does it work? Much like, yes, I get the higher sense of why certain things are happening. I do understand. I really do, because they showed it to me. I felt it. It made a lot of sense. And then I come back to my human life and I'm just like, what in the fuck? Like, I'm not willing to tolerate that. I'm in no way like unconditional love and light in that case at all. I wasn't in the beginning. I'm moving slowly towards that. But also I still feel like take action, like do that fundraiser, make the bracelets, like put yourself out there, like have an opinion, have a voice. It's all part of my own personal journey. And, you know, like that's fine. It's also a matter of, it doesn't matter if you're ready or not for this. Just do it. Just do it. You will never be ready for all this. Like, had I known what I would be doing with this in the very beginning, I would have said no thank you, because my mindset in the very beginning when I started this journey out was really like, I can't do anything really, right? I can't do, well, not anything, I shouldn't say that. That was years back. That was years back when I was 16 or something. I thought I had no talents. I wasn't worth anything. I, you know, I had tremendous self-doubt and problems with self-worth, self-love. Like they were non-existent, really. So that journey has been a long one, and one that taught me hell of a lot. And again, I'm telling you, if you use your voice and just do it, just do something crazy outside in the world. Just start out small with something. Just, you know, whatever you feel called to, just do it and see how you go. It's a matter of trial and error, what works, what doesn't. And even if you think it doesn't work, ultimately you're learning a new skill. So that was like may have been part of the lesson, just to teach you a new skill so that you can then apply it here. Because, you know, designing a card, designing the videos that I did, I could not have done that half a year ago. If, you know, if the channel would have just taken off immediately, I would have not needed to apply myself with those skills, but I did, and they were fun. Like, I loved designing thumbnails and everything. And I know I'm talking a lot right now, and I'm trying to get, you know, that out. And I know there's a sense behind it, and I hope you haven't clicked off yet. It's so much. Yeah, well, and if you did, then maybe this wasn't for you, you know what I mean? And that's also another thing, you know, still putting yourself out there, still saying what you need to say because it's important to you and you feel it has value to other people. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. We need you. We need you just as you are. And when you apply that again to the perpetrators, we need you just as you are, that's a different ballgame. Again, high perspective versus I'm a human being with a child at home. You know what I mean? So, all right. Yeah. Thanks. That happened a bunch of times. Yeah, that happened a bunch of times, that in the beginning cards kind of came out, but then not. So a hesitancy to act, maybe kind of wanting to do it, and then at the last minute, no, I don't really have that skill. You know, allowing yourself to be held back by stuff like that. You know what's been holding me back from doing the bracelet thing? Because I had that on my mind for a longer time now, not with in combination with thorn. That was spirit, which was lovely. But what's holding me back was, how am I going to send that internationally? Like, I don't even have the time to do it, and now it's just like go, 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 go. I didn't even look up the, you know, how much it was. I let that hold me back. That was enough, like, for me to say I won't do it. And now I'm breaking through all those limitations, through all those patterns that I once thought It's incredible, that journey that I once thought were real for me, that were defining me and my life and how I used to live my life. It's crazy. They're all breaking down now. But I'm so willing, I'm so ready, because of all this struggle, you know, you're at some stage so ready and so willing to just step into that, because you're so sick of all this crap that you're just like, yes, let's do the work. Yes, I can recommend a book, by the way, that I'm currently working with, which is incredible. It just gives me such a push. It's called Existential Kink by Carolyn Elliott, PhD. Mwah. This is like getting yourself in touch with your shadow like nothing. I mean, it's incredible, really incredible. All right, oh my God, we have shadow and we have well-being. Look how close these are together. I could almost like blend them. That's how I feel like. So blend them, blend your shadow. Like your shadow means well-being, when before you may have been, this is so crazy. I love when that happens. You know, they're tied together. The shadow is drawn to the well-being kind of thing. It's kind of like trying to merge with the other thing. It's almost like osmosis. Is that the term? You know, when one thing flows into the other, or is drawn to it. So you may feel like your shadow may have messed up. This is in the realm of self-sabotage as well. You may feel like your shadow self may have messed up things for you. Yep. I can tell you a really good example of that. In the book that I just mentioned, Carolyn Elliott, mentions an exercise where you kind of reverse psychology, where you're saying, I cannot have success under no circumstances, and because I have a deep fear of. And I did that exercise. You list like 20 reasons why you have a deep fear, basically why you can't get it, why you're sabotaging yourself in that regard. And you know what my end reason was? Where it was like, oh my God, that's such a strong reason, no wonder. That is holding you back. And my reason was that, and this is going to be really strong, you didn't see the process, but it was basically that I was going to be alone because it was successful, because no one liked that, then I would kill myself. I had that reason for it. Then I would kill myself because I was so alone. And then my little boy would have to be on its own. I would completely mess up my little boy's life because I had success. And with a strong shadow reason like that, of course I'm holding myself back. I'm going to use every excuse in this world I can to hold myself back. That is like the strongest thing ever. And the book also teaches you how to overcome that, and how to, you know, because once you become aware of it, it loses its grip on you. Of course, it's not in one day kind of a thing, but gradually. I hope you did understand that example. I'm not going to kill myself, but this is how you, you know, go about it. You really go deep with this work. You really are being honest with yourself. Like that is really like one of my core beliefs, apparently, on my shadow that I wasn't even aware of. And yeah, become aware of that. But the shadow isn't negative. It isn't bad. It's again here. It's something to see through. Have a look at the cards. They're quite interesting. Like the color layout here, it looks like a painting that is coming together. Yeah, and take good care of yourself and your physical body, because again, you're not just that angelic being, you're also like an earthly being. You have a body that needs your attention, that really wants you to take care of it, like your needs, your wants, and everything. Man, that was strong. I hope I didn't like offend anyone with this, or like probably triggered someone. I really wanted to make that point so you can see how, you know, how bad this really gets. Because if you're only staying with, I want to be successful, and here's why, it's only half the deal. Wow! Yes, just say yes. Exactly. Oh my God. This is the time. Like, it could not be more clear, guys. Could not be more clear. Mudras. If you guys don't know what mudras are, for example, this is the womb mudra. You just place them on certain parts of your body. So either some of you may have done mudras, or there's a call to look into that. I believe this one was it like that? I can't remember. So like this, you do like this. I think this is I can't remember what this was, but this was another mudra. It was like strengthening the divine feminine or something. It goes like this in this extra. Anyways, I'm talking so much today, sharing everything. So yeah, just say yes. I actually want to read that one to you. Look into the mudra thing, because like you're drawing energy in by those geometric, exactly, geometric, forms. This is a geometric form as well, and by the intention that is set by them. This is strong stuff. Do not underestimate that. So I hope I can find it. Let me see. Where's the yes? Here we go, 28. Cool. Every time I say I hope I can find it, I almost find it immediately. Oh my god! Okay, look at this. I'm not gonna read all of it. Do you see it? It says yes, 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 yes. See that? In case you were wondering and you had a question, the answer is yes. And it says, don't overthink it. Just say yes. Don't overthink it. Just say yes. Yeah. The movie Yes Man comes to mind. You know, when you're just saying yes to stuff. And it'll just come together. The White Witch came out. Be the light, but we'll see. We'll shuffle. Yeah, just do it, because it'll lead you somewhere. Like I said, it doesn't make sense immediately, or may not be making sense, but it'll all come together as this gorgeous picture, and Spirit is orchestrating that for you here. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So we have both. Yeah, precisely. We have that warrior spirit, and that's very much reminding me of the shadow side, and which is why we're going to put it over here. And then the spring card with see your seeds grow over here. So basically what the spring card is denoting to is a lot of success, like the rabbit, very fertile energies. Watch your seeds grow, like watch them grow. But there's at the same time, not just plant your seeds, but take action on those seeds. Take that inspired action. That's needed right now at that stage for sure. Like step into it. You cannot sit idly on your couch and expect Spirit to bring things in for you, because that's not how it works. You need to take that inspired action. And it needs to be divine time for it as well, apparently, regarding to this reading. And the warrior is be fearless and stand strong. And that's that shadow side, exploring and loving that shadow side. Exactly. Oh, I love this layout. Read the warrior. Yep. We'll read the warrior. Warrior. Almost don't want to take it out there, but here we go. Be fearless and stand strong. Don't hold back. Make your opinions heard. Don't settle for second best. Yes, don't. A warrior is anyone who is ready and willing to know themselves and do what needs to be done in order to get where they want to be. This message is so clear. In this deck, the warrior embodies fierce primal force. Love. The warrior within, the energy you can call on to protect yourself, even if you don't think you love yourself. If you are exposed to a situation that could be harmful or dangerous, the steps you take to protect yourself are in fact acts of fierce love. Although the warrior in this card is surrounded by darkness, he is of the light. Gosh, this could not be more clear. Wow. The warrior within is made of light and has the capacity to shine even more brightly when facing darkness head on. If you're experiencing fear at this time, know that this means whatever is going on is important to you. Whenever you feel fear, you are on the verge of something big, real big, perhaps a massive breakthrough that is going to really help you move forward. If you have a situation on your hands where you have to face someone or something that's been unsettling you, excuse me, no throat, you need to speak, you need to use your voice, you need to, the throat. It's not just for speaking your truth and standing in your truth and speaking, standing in your power. It also is for accepting, like, the truth of others, like standing in it. It doesn't, it doesn't have an effect on your own truth because you're standing in yours so clearly. Again, that still leaves room for error. Like, be flexible in that. Have your values in place, but also know that that can change. Like, you're changing constantly, and so are others. It's that flexibility that, the rigidity that breaks it up. If you have a situation on your hands where you have to face someone or something that's been unsettling you, Know that you are being guided to call up your inner warrior. Don't falter and don't be frightened, because you have the energy to protect yourself now and at all times. Absolutely. Absolutely. And your guides are there too. All right, guys. I'm not sure what that really had to do with the mother wound, because I specifically asked, what do we need to know about the mother wound? Yeah, sometimes, the earth is connected with mother, not just sometimes, but that's the way it is. And before we heal that wound that connects us to the earth, to our body, because that's the divine feminine, like our body is female, when the mind is male, when we heal that connection to earth, then manifestations can come in also so much more easily, and we're actually bringing it down to earth. So that was your message. I hope it was helpful to you. Again, please donate, raise awareness, send your vibrations, buy a bracelet, buy one of their t-shirts, their hoodies, all the links down below, and in the link that I leave, if you would like to watch the video, like, spread the word, guys, please. All right, I'm sending you so much love, light, and shadow. I'll see you next time. Bye.